Madam President, I got the news, along with others, Sunday morning about the decision of the 10 Republican and Democratic senators to move forward with a proposal to deal with our nation's epidemic of gun violence. I had a conversation with Senator Chris Murphy, who has been one of our leaders on the Democratic side, about exactly what that meant and the help that we might be able to offer to him from the Senate Judiciary Committee. I just want to say at this moment that I really want to commend my colleagues on both sides, Democrats and Republicans. I believe they made a good faith effort to negotiate a package of reforms. Senator Murphy, Senator Cornyn of Texas made it bipartisan, timely, and I believe did an excellent job. Is it the package that I would have written? No, nor yours, Madam President. You would have included things, and I would have included others. But it is within our reach. We have a bitterly, politically divided nation. That's a fact. We have a Senate Judiciary Committee evenly divided 50-50. We have a chamber evenly divided 50-50. And so it's difficult to say that any one party or one person will get exactly what they want in this political atmosphere. But it's equally important to note that we've all gone home and gotten the message over and over again, whether it was a reference to a supermarket killing in Buffalo, a school, a fourth grade school class in Uvalde, Texas, or a doctor and other bystanders being killed in a Tulsa, Oklahoma hospital. All of that has occurred in the last few days. And the American people have reacted with one voice, and they have said to us 2 words: do something. To members of Congress, don't just tell us you're going to give us your thoughts and prayers, do something. Well, I think this decision to move forward could help. Every provision in this agreement could save a life. For that reason, if for no other, I will be supporting it. This agreement would support red flag laws. That's one way they characterize them. Crisis intervention orders is another. Many states, 19, already have them. It would also close dangerous gaps in the federal law that enables domestic abusers, boyfriends, to get guns. I want to commend Senator Klobuchar, who has been the leader in the United States Senate on that issue. We tried to help her on a previous piece of legislation and didn't have the votes to do it, but if it's included in this package, I will definitely support it and thank her for her leadership. It also would strengthen the background check system by clarifying which gun sellers are required to conduct background checks. That's a step in the right direction. I hope there's more coming. The agreement would provide funds for desperately needed mental health and trauma support services, including more school counselors for enhanced school safety. Madam President, I can't tell you how critically important that is. Half of the people who die because of a gun in America commit suicide. It is a plea for help that we should be answering. This could help. We also know that some of the people who pick up these guns and go shooting children and innocent people have serious mental illness problems. They need counseling too, and we need to find ways to reach to them. And I also want to add that we have a different form of gun violence in big cities like Chicago. Many of these crimes are committed by kids in gangs. And these kids, 90% plus of them, have been victims of trauma in their lives. Things have happened to them which they can never forget, and they need help to deal with them. So mental health counseling, trauma counseling is critical to reducing gun violence at all these 3 different levels. Importantly, the framework would crack down on straw purchases and illicit trafficking of guns. Madam President, last August, an amazing young woman who was a Chicago policewoman, Ella French, was on duty with her partner, sitting in the squad car, and a man walked up and shot her in the head and killed her. Then he shot the other officer and blinded him in one eye. The gun that he used to kill that policewoman was the subject of a straw purchase. What does that mean? That means that he could never have cleared a background check. He was a convicted felon. So he finds a friend or a girlfriend to go in and buy it who have no criminal records, and then they hand the gun over to him, and he turns around and kills a wonderful Chicago policeman. The outpouring of sentiment in favor of Ella French and her family was overwhelming. And I hope that we can get this provision, which I worked on with Senator Collins and Leahy, included in the final passage, to tighten up the penalties on those who make straw purchases. If you're going to stand up and lie to buy a gun so that you can give it to someone who can't pass a background check, you ought to pay dearly for that. It cost Ella French her life, and I hope that we can stick with this provision all the way through. The last point's especially important because I've met her mother, I've met the officer who was in the car with her, I've met his family, and I know how much this particular incident meant to each and every one of their lives. Madam President, does an agreement like this do everything that I would like? No, it doesn't. But this, if we can pass it, will be the most significant gun violence reform in 30 years in Congress. 30 years. We now have more guns than people in this country. They estimate some 400 million guns. They can't even give me anywhere close to an exact number of how many AR-15s we have in this country. I've heard estimates people are convinced of that range from 10 to 20 million of these AR-15 military assault type weapons. We have a long way to go before we reach the finish line, but I want to commend those senators who've worked so hard to bring us to this point and just make it very clear. I'm prepared to do everything I can as a senator and as whip to bring the votes together to get this done as quickly as possible.